Frank? Oh, come on now.
Thank you for showing your face, Frank.
I'm working. You don't want to see what I'm doing.
Maybe they do. They may have clients looking for business, girl.
Hey, Ashley.
Huh?
She said we may be looking for business. You never know.
So Brandy cleans houses, guys.
Okay. Okay. See, I'm glad to know that. Add you to my vendor list. Well, it's 11 o'clock, y'all. I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Are we all set, Jana and Michaela? That's it. Good. So most of you, I don't know if I've ever met Brandy before. I recognize Frank. Frank he's on most of the calls, so that's good. I don't think I've ever met him.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm Tonda. I just finished my first year in real estate, so I am not an expert by any means. But I wanted to do the scripts class because I know that for me, the most difficult part was me knowing what to say to people, so that has kind of helped me in that process. But before I get into that, I like to pray. I like to start off praying first. So I will ask my friend Kim if she would mind leading us in prayer.
She just kind of flows.
She does.
Listen,
I love you,
anybody. Yeah, prayer is just really communing with the Lord Jesus. Just having a conversation, just like we're talking now. That's all it is. Nothing, you don't have to be all perfect and, eloquent about it. It's just conversation. So Lord, we thank you, God, for another day's journey. Lord God, we thank you for waking us up this morning with the fullness and the activities of our limbs, Lord God. We thank you, God, that we have our right state of minds, Lord God. We thank you for this time that you've set aside, God, to help us all, God, to be better in our businesses, Lord God, to know how to communicate and practice our scripts and know how to get listings and work with buyers and sellers and even investors, Lord God. We asking, oh God, that you break our mindsets, God, from the things of the past and the things that are just challenges and blockages for us, Lord God. We're asking, oh God, that you just expand us, God. Use this power hour as a power time for each and every one of us, however you see fit, Lord God. So, Lord, we thank you, God. It's in the most high, magnificent name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now this is very relaxed. This is a no judgment zone. This is where we get together to practice. So it's okay to make mistakes. Don't feel like you have to be perfect. All of us will make mistakes now and in the future, but we would rather practice now together here in this safe space as opposed to getting out there and practicing on our clients. So our objective here is for us to be more comfortable, when we have to have those conversations with our clients. So with that being said, remember, this is interactive. I don't want to sit up here and be the only one talking. So for scripting for me, it took me a while to kind of buy into it because when I heard people practice scripts, it seemed kind of fake, lack of a better word, fake. But what I've since learned is you practice the scripts to remember and be able to recall things that you've practiced and have a regular conversation with your clients, if that makes sense. So it doesn't have to be you going down the line of that script, and if your client gets off, it's like, oh no, that's not what the script says. I don't know what to say. So you practice all the scenarios so that when you come across that particular situation with your client, you're comfortable. That's what we're here to do. So I've also learned that with scripts, there are thousands of them out there, but for the most part, the meat and potatoes are the same. So you don't have to have every script book in order to feel comfortable in talking or having conversations with your current or even future clients. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. It makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. So I asked Nicole yesterday to kind of just send one script particular script out because I know Kathy and the other PC coaches are using the locker room. So I asked her to send to email that script book. Did everybody get that script book?
I
I
didn't
don't know if
receive
you
it.
did.
You didn't get it?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Because I asked her, I didn't know who had, expressed an interest in receiving it. So I just, asked her to send it to whoever. I didn't want to overwhelm anybody and send anything that somebody didn't necessarily want. So I can send that, but you ladies are seasoned, Kathy and Kim.
You know
I'm
what?
sure.
I'm sorry to cut you off,
That's okay.
Rhonda, but I was on a call this morning and there's a fabulous script out there regarding inventory
Mhm.
and all the buyers that we have that are losing out, like my clients.
Mhm.
I'm more of a buyer's agent. I'm trying to
Mhm.
get back into doing the listing thing.
Mhm.
Can I say it for you guys?
Sure, absolutely. I would
Did you
love
have
that.
one? Did you have one planned right
No,
off the bat?
no. My idea today was to kind of just see what people wanted to talk about. I know that our database is our most, where most of our business is going to come from, our sphere of influence. So I wanted to kind of make sure we cover that so we get comfortable in making those types of calls. But outside of that, I wanted to just open it up and we could just go through, whatever the need was. So that would be perfect, Kathy.
Okay, thank you. Because I know some of my guys don't have a lot of contacts in their
Mhm.
phone.
Mhm.
And this is actually homes in on me where I'm dealing with. And I was like, I've been wanting to get listings and I've been working on it. However, I have the focus now that I'm going to look for listings where my clients need houses in the price
Mhm.
range.
Mhm.
So, in between everything else, I finally sat down today. I took advantage of today because I have to be here at home. And I went on this call this morning and lo and behold, God was looking down and gave me this script. Okay, so you guys ready?
Yep.
Tonda, can you be my partner?
Sure.
Okay, so what it is it's a circle prospecting script, and it's in a neighborhood that you know a lot about. So I know Sue, this will be for you. Frank, this will be for you. Brandy, well, all of you guys, it'll be for all of you. But I know Sue's been trying to get in her neighborhood, and Frank as well. Okay, and I've got a neighborhood that I'm honing in on. So you're in ABC Street, and I guess we'll do a phone call if that's
Okay.
okay, even though I like to door knock. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Tonda?
Yes, it is. Who's calling?
Hey Tonda, good morning. My name is Kathy Wilson and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. I just wanted to let you know, I'm not sure if you're aware of all the houses that have been selling in your neighborhood near your 123 ABC Street. Did you realize how many houses have sold in your area?
Oh, actually, I have. I've been living here for about 20 years. I know Jim and Ann sold theirs about a month or two ago. And then around the corner, Rob and Nancy, they sold theirs. So yeah, I've been noticing that.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you know that. I wanted to let you know in case, even if you're not in the market to sell, if you know anybody that may in that area be looking, I've got like several buyers that are looking in that area and they've actually lost out on several bids because the market is so good right now for sellers. There's multiple bids on every property and we've lost out on each and every one of them. So
Oh,
if
wow.
yeah, yeah. So if you know of anyone in your surrounding area that may be thinking of selling, contemplating selling, wants to see what the value is on their house, if you could please take my name and number, I'll give you my card so you'll have it as well. Or sorry, we're on the phone. Just take my name and number and please reach out to me. And do you mind if I give you take your email address so that I can send you market stats in your neighborhood so that you actually have a physical visualization of what's sold in the neighborhood?
Oh yeah, I will absolutely do that because I know my neighbors. Their youngest kid just went to college, and so they were kind of talking about downsizing. So I may have a couple of people I can reach out to in the neighborhood and just see.
Okay, well, if that's too much to ask, if you're comfortable giving me at least their name and address, I'd be more than happy if you're comfortable in giving me that information, and I can try to reach out to them as well. Like I said, I've got several that are pre-qualified. We've made several bids, and we've just lost out. That's how hot the market is.
Okay, well, let me talk to them first. I don't like to just give out information without, asking for permission, but I will definitely ask them, and if so, I will make that connection, no problem.
Okay, one more thing. Do you mind if I have your phone number? Is this your cell number?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Miss Tonda, would you mind if I shared my Keller Williams app with you? And that way, when you do talk to them, if they are interested, you should be able to share that with them as well. And that way they have, and no pressure, they can look and see what's out there. See what the solds don't always come up, but the pendings do. And there are several pendings in your neighborhood right now. So, but yeah, I'd appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
for calling. Bye bye. That was good.
Yeah, that
So,
was good. That was
I
good.
mean, freaking cold. I started trying to, I'm going to prepare and have it, I'm more in typing everything up. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I was like, dang it. That is so true. And
Hmm.
and I'm being honest. Make
Hmm.
sure, that's the thing is I don't want people going out there and saying stuff that's not true because you don't want to be held accountable to the sellers. Well, you said you have buyers. So I'm very ethical, and I really do have buyers that have put bids in that neighborhood where I'm trying to focus, and we've lost out on. So everything I say is true,
Right.
you know.
And that's important too, because if you're not honest, then it's hard for you to keep up with what you said. And so,
Mhm.
honesty to me is always the best policy.
Now,
So even in that instance, if you don't have a particular buyer in mind, you could always refer back to, well, other agents in my office have talked about it. We kind of get together and talk about what our needs are. And there, even if I don't directly have one, then I know other agents in my office, who have clients that are looking for your particular, property. So,
right. And let me say on the feedback on the call, there was something somebody had brought out on their script role play. The pretend owner was like, well, out of curiosity, what do you think my home will sell for? And I thought that was awesome. And so I should have threw that in there so that if you're interested, Miss Tonda, in knowing what the valuation, no pressure, but if you're interested in know what the valuation of your home is, I'll be
mhm,
happy to send you via email,
mhm,
which I
mhm.
didn't get your email address, but
Right. I thought about that.
so anyway, but that was me. So now y'all have it. If you need, I am going to type it up. I was planning on sharing it with everybody. So I'll type it up for you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
So, like, I thank you for that, Kathy.
You're
Just
welcome.
remember when you're calling your potential clients, or somebody that you're trying to get business from, you're having a conversation. So just keep that in the back of your mind. You don't necessarily have to go down the line of the script that you practice. Just have a conversation. Listen to what it is they say and respond to that. Okay. So early on, I knew that was one of my issues in being uncomfortable, was that I would make the call and I would be kind of trying to remember the script line for line. And if they said something off the script, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm lost. As opposed to most of us at this point have kind of heard real estate related questions. So you can kind of pull from that. So if you're having that conversation, just remember, just follow along what they're saying, respond, and the ultimate goal is to get the appointment. Does that make sense? Okay. So most of our business is going to come from people we know in our sphere, family, friends, people you work with. So all of us have some numbers in our phone, whether you know who they are or not. So what I do is I make a phone call to somebody that I know. I've only been in real estate a year, so it's hard for people to see me as a realtor right now. So most of my phone calls are just kind of letting people know that I'm in real estate. And I've been told that it takes at least 8 times for that person to hear or see that you're a realtor in order for it to stick. So we have to make the phone calls. You can send out postcards. Just remember, you have to touch them 8 times, because a lot of people get frustrated because they find out their aunt used a realtor, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm a realtor. But your aunt doesn't see you right now yet as a realtor. So you have to constantly remind and plant that seed that you're a realtor. Bonita, who's no longer with Keller Williams, but she would always say, don't be a secret agent. So that just simply means let people know that you sell real estate. So the first script that I would like to practice has to do with calling somebody in your database. So is there anybody that wants to volunteer to make that call? Remember, this is just practice. Oh, yay. So awesome, awesome, awesome. So you're going to be the realtor. You have me in your phone, but you may, well, we'll start off with, is somebody that you know. Okay, so I'm somebody that you know, that you're making a phone call and you're letting them know that you're in real estate. We'll go through that first, and then we'll get feedback and critique, and then we'll practice it again. Does that sound okay?
Okay, so I'm going to do it from the script book.
Yes, yes. And it should be on page 5, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen too, just in case, because I know a couple of people said that they didn't.
So Tonda, is it the script book out of the locker room?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay, okay. Well, everybody should have that.
Yeah, I asked Nicole to send it to just, hold on in this. Now give me a second. I'm getting better with Zoom, but I'm, let me share my screen. And which one is the script? Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so. All right. I'm ready, Sue, whenever you are.
Okay, so I'm going to make a phone call to you, and I'm going to just
let me know that you're in real estate right now.
Okay.
I'm a family member. I'm a family member.
The only thing that's in here is the opening line, and then we just talk from there.
Yes. Yep. So you just kind of respond to what it is I say, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Ring, ring.
Hey, Sue.
Hey, Tonda, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. How you been? You been doing okay?
I can't complain. I can't complain at all. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I just wanted to let you know that I'm in the real estate business now. And
Really?
yeah. I started my real estate business back in December, and I'm just touching base with some people and some friends and family, and trying to let everybody be aware that if they're in the market for any real estate needs, that I'm here to help.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, it's good. That's good. I know a couple of realtors, but you know, you're family, so you may have to go to the head of the line.
Okay.
So what made you decide to get into real estate?
Well, I recently retired, so I was looking for a new career because I was a little too young to just not work anymore. So I thought maybe this might be an exciting new career to get into.
Okay, that sounds good. So who are you working with?
I'm working with Keller Williams Realty out of Belchase, Louisiana, on the other side of the river.
Oh, I've heard good things about Keller Williams. I think they're one of the best. I see their signs everywhere.
Yeah, they're a very great company to deal with and to work for. I've been very happy with Keller Williams.
Awesome. Okay, so I will go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that I wanted to know if you had any friends or family or anybody that may be in the market to buy or sell any homes. If you could just give me a list of anybody you know, or if you could think of anybody off the top of your head, or if anybody comes to mind later, if you could give me a call, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, well, I can't think of anybody right now, but I will definitely keep you in mind. I'll definitely keep you in mind.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
So how did that feel to you, Sue?
Well, because I feel like I'm scripting, it was kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's. I mean, it's supposed to be uncomfortable now. Like to me, like even when I get comfortable with what the scripts, say for the most part, just making the phone call, I still get nervous. So I couldn't tell you were, nervous or uncomfortable. And I think that's the key, like making sure that you sound confident on the phone, even if you may or may not be confident just yet. That makes sense?
Okay.
Okay. Um,
Can I add a little tidbit?
absolutely,
When
absolutely.
when you get a little thrown off on what to say, we're dealing with the pandemic right now, so you could always throw in just checking, how's everybody in your family? Is
Mhm.
everybody okay?
Mm-hmm.
How about work? Has everybody, I hope nobody's lost their jobs,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
kind of throw those things in there.
Yeah.
So
Isn't it?
maybe some small talk before you actually get into
Mhm.
the actual meat of the matter while you're calling.
Yeah. Isn't it called the Ford method? You asked about family, occupation. I can't remember what the R is.
Yeah, I think it's recreation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's due the database too. So you're just calling care calls. You're just calling to check on everybody.
And then what I
Mm-hmm.
found too with that is, like for me, I was uncomfortable when the pandemic first started with making calls and asking people for business. Like that just to me was, I just felt it was insensitive. But what I did was I've just made the call and just asked them how they were, how
Mm-hmm.
everything was going. And then well, how's work? And once they mentioned work, that's kind of your end. Well, I'm in real estate now. So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing is, just trying to help everybody understand that I am a realtor now. If you have any real estate needs. And so to me, that made me more comfortable in it. And they kind of initiated it. So I didn't feel like it was me kind of pushing myself on them when, people are dealing with real life situations, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. Do you want to try to practice? Well, no, I want to move on to, I'll let somebody else practice. That was a good job, Sue. Thank you so much for stepping up. Would anybody like to practice making a call to somebody in your phone that you don't really know who they are in your phone?
I have a question. Hey,
Yes.
Tonda.
Hey, Ann Arthur.
So I was reading the questions that you just had up that you just took down, and one
No.
said,
Oh, wait,
how
something
can I
happened.
be a service? How can I be a service to you?" But what if they say, um, how can you be a service to me? Well, how would you respond?
As a new agent,
Yes.
well, my job as your realtor is to make sure that well, if they're a seller, that your property gets sold. I may be new to this business, however, my office is more than willing to assist. I have a PC coach who is making sure that I'm prepared and know the steps from A to Z and getting your home from listed to sold. I uh, I said the coach, I said the years. And then you may want to, point out the fact that also because you're new, you're hungry. So you're eager to please. Because I'm new, I want to make sure that my clients are satisfied. So I'm going to go above and beyond in making sure that happens. Does that make sense?
And how about, I have more time on my hands than
Mm-hmm.
other
Mm-hmm.
agents, that
Mm-hmm.
I have the time to spend to market your property. And again, if I
Absolutely.
need assistance, I've got all those experts at the office behind me to back me up.
Absolutely. And you can always use your office's stats, so it's good to, the MLS will provide you with that. So you have to practice that as well, but, use those stats. If they don't ask you specifically, so how long have you been a realtor? You know, if they just, well, what experience do you have? Well, my office, last month we listed 54 homes and we got 37 of them under contract within 30 days, so and then that kind of impresses them. And most of the time, they'll kind of move on to the next thing. They're like, okay, even though I may not know that number specifically, to them, they don't know that that's the exact number. They just know that you were able to answer their question. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That answered your question, and
Tell them something
Yes.
sensible.
Yes, it did.
but you're right. Make sure it's
They
something
don't know.
reasonable. Don't tell them that y'all had 2,000 homes or anything like that. I love it. Okay, so who would like to practice making a phone call to somebody in your database where you have no idea where you met this person or how their number is even in your phone? Because and this is something I need to practice because I have so many people in my phone. I'm like, who is this? And I have no idea. So again, this is.
I'll be. I mean, so all you like the newer agents, all you doing is just reading the script that's right there that Tonda has posted. So don't overcomplicate the situation. I'll be the lead, and one of you guys can be the real estate agent. All you're doing is just practicing the script. That's all.
it.
Reading the script.
Oh wait, let me go down talking. Was that it, Kim? Oh, no, that wasn't it.
Reminding database you're in real estate. Is that the one you want to do?
No, I was kind of going a little off that. I was kind of trying to piggyback the making the phone call to your database, except it's somebody that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So let you be a person that I'm calling, Kim, and I don't know who it is. I really don't even know who it is that I'm calling. Because and this goes back to the reason why I want to implement this is because one of the things that they tell us to do in calling is to call our database. What is it, DTD2? What DTD4 now since the pandemic. So just do the database too, so going through your phone on certain days, you're supposed to, call people letters A and W, I think is the first one. And then after that, letters, J and K. So this will help you get through your phone, let people know you're in real estate, but at the same time, it's kind of, you can add them to command once you get more information, or you can take them out your phone if this is no longer that person's phone number, so. All right, Kim, I'm sorry. I'm ready.
Oh, you're good. So so recap real quick, like 10 seconds. What are we doing?
I'm calling you. Your number is in my phone. But okay. I don't know why your number's in my phone. I don't remember how I know you or so I'm trying to figure out who you are in my phone.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. So
all right, so you'll be the agent first, and then I want to practice that too because I am going to come from a little different platform, but I want to practice it on you. Okay. So but you go first with me.
Okay. All right. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Kim?
Yes, this is Kim. Who's calling?
Hey, Kim, this is Tonda, and I know this is a little awkward, but I have your number in my phone, and I cannot for the life of me remember how I know you. Do you remember who I am?
Tonda, I don't recall who you are, Tonda. I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's okay because
How can I help you?
Well, I'm trying to clean up my phone is what I'm doing. I'm going through my contacts. I have a lot of contacts in my phone. And so I'm trying to free up some space. And so I came across your name and I said, well, let me call just to see if I could remember who this person was. And so, clearly I know you from someplace, but I don't know. I'm new to real estate, so it couldn't be that. But what is it that you do?
I'm gonna be a little bit harsh with you. Okay?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know who you are, dear.
No, I totally understand. And I know that this is awkward and weird, but for some reason I have your phone number in my phone with your name. So I met you somewhere. I don't know if it was out. I don't know if it was a family member, but I do have your number in my phone. And I apologize for, interrupting your day, but I'm just
why are you calling me? What's this about, ma'am?
Well, I was just calling to let people know that I'm now a real estate agent, and so your name was next on my list, and so I am a realtor with Keller Williams. So if you or anybody is interested in buying or selling real estate, I would love for you to just lock my number in your phone as realtor, and if you have any real estate related questions or anybody that's looking to buy or sell, if you wouldn't mind sharing my info, I would greatly appreciate that.
Well, my sister-in-law is a real estate agent. So if I were to call anybody, I would call her.
No, I understand that. I definitely understand that. But I know sometimes also that it can be a little awkward working with family. You want holidays to be, smooth. And so we don't want to, some people don't like to mix business with family. So just in case, if for whatever reason you choose not to use your sister-in-law, I would love to be a backup for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Kim, for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. So can we do a quick moment of eval?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the reason why, for the newer people that's on the call, the reason why I came across that way is because when you make these calls, everybody is not going to be peachy king and nice Nancy with you. Okay. And it's a mindset thing. We have to get beyond getting caught up in our emotions and feelings when we are making those calls, because you just don't know. You don't know the type of day I may have had today. Still at 11:30 in the morning, you don't know the type of day I've had. I could have had a day from HE double hockey sticks, right?
Mhm.
And now you calling me with this shenanigans, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, people get those robocalls and what do you call those kind of calls?
Yeah.
All day long, and it
Yeah.
gets real annoying. And then,
Mhm.
right now we're just living in a society where people are very skeptical about people calling and asking them about who they are and where do you live and what do you do, like,
Mhm.
and so you got to get to the point, right? You got to cut through the chase before you lose them, because you only have about maybe 2 to 3 seconds to capture their attention before they go click.
Mhm. And then what I would do after that is, like, if that were a particular phone call, if they feel like that and it's going to be short, don't try to sell them, get in, get out.
Right.
But what I would do after that is maybe in a few days just kind of shoot them a text or my digital business card or something, because you still want to plant that seed with them that you're an agent. And then maybe a month or two from now, you call them, to get more information about them so that you can add them to your command database. If that
Right.
makes sense.
Exactly.
And then also to piggyback what Kim said, what's the worst they're gonna say? No, or hang up. So once you understand that going in, it's like don't take it personally. You did what you could do. You move on to the next person in your database. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then one thing too, Tonda, is that before we got off the call, you forgot to reconfirm my contact information.
Yes, I realized that after the fact.
Yeah.
I did. Thank you for that, Kim.
Can I add a little?
I'm still new.
Can I add a tidbit on that?
Absolutely.
So when Kim, I loved it. Kim and I, she used to do this to me all the time. So when she said that she actually had a relative that was a realtor, it's a good opportunity for you guys to say, "Oh, what's the realtor's name? Do you mind me asking?" And then say, "What brokerage company are they with? Are they with Keller Williams?" Good opportunity for a downline.
Mm-hmm. And
Right,
then too,
Kim?
sometimes people will say they have
Right.
a relative or a
Right.
friend that is a
Exactly.
realtor,
And
and
they
they don't
really
actually,
don't.
because they're trying to get you off the phone.
Exactly.
So that's a good way too to quiz and see if they're a fact or fiction on that. But it is another way for profit share to maybe reach out to, if it is true, reach out to that agent and just do a little research and talk to them about Keller Williams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Kim. So you said you wanted to revert. Did somebody else say something?
I was going to say something, but that's okay.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Go ahead, Sue.
No, I was just going to respond to what Kathy said. When I did a knock and talk last weekend, one of the ladies that answered the door at one of the houses I went to, when I introduced myself and gave her my card and told her who I was and what I was doing, she said her relative, I think it was her cousin, was a real estate agent for Keller Williams in Alabama. And that's what she said. She said, "Oh, I'm going to pass your card on to her. She may want to use you as a referral down here." And I said, "Oh, that would be great. Please get me in touch with her."
Absolutely.
That is
So
awesome.
I probably should have got the other lady's information from her, but I didn't. I did have that experience with another agent.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I like that. All right.
Yeah, so let me add on to that if you don't mind. So what you could do, Sue, is reach back out to the lady, in just passing, and just say, knock on her door and say, "Hey, I just kind of wanted to check. I forgot to get your relative's name in Alabama, and get her name,
Mhm.
and then check her out on our command for referrals. Reach out to her."
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I knocked on about 100 doors. I should have wrote the address down.
Well, that's okay. You'll come across this happening
No,
again.
yeah.
Well, kudos to you for door knocking. Right now, I tried it and I loved it because at first I was like, I'm not knocking on strangers' doors, and then
Hmm.
my mantra is get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, let's at least try it, and I loved it. I haven't done it since then because everything going on, but I definitely
Hmm.
like that. So that is a good way to build your database if you're not from or familiar with an area. Okay.
Yeah, I was
All
comfortable with doing that, but I can talk to anybody, it seems like. So,
right. All right, Kim, I'm
All
sorry.
right.
So you wanted to flip the script? You said you wanted to change it up for the database call?
Well, it's a new it's a platform that I'm establishing right now. You guys have probably seen it out there on social media, but I'm building it up, and so I'd like to. I'm going to practice this script just to see how it turns out. So
Okay, so what's
excuse
the
the
scenario?
imperfections of it at this point. Mhm.
That's okay. So what's the scenario? Like,
I am making calls DT four, right?
okay,
Calling my
DTD4.
database, DT,
Mhm.
yeah, calling my database and letting everybody know in my database that this is the year for helping families, sell, buy, or invest in real estate and to build financial wealth. So I am helping 300 families this year to build financial wealth. And that's going to be my platform and how I, open up my conversation with people. Okay. All right, ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, Tonda Peterson. This is Kim Thomas with Keller Williams Realty. How are you?
Hey, Kim. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I don't know if you recall, but you're in my database, and I'm reaching out to every single person in my database these days because I am building this platform for the year 2021 where I'm helping. My goal is to help 300 families build financial wealth this year. So, my question to you is, are you in the market to sell, buy, or invest in real estate at this time?
I thought about it a little bit, but I just don't know if I am where I need to be with my credit score right now.
Oh, awesome. So that is, I completely understand that. So, definitely what I would like to do is set an appointment where you and I can do a power hour where we can mastermind about, your credit score and see where we can go, what we can do to help you get pre-qualified and to start your journey to building financial wealth. So are you available like Tuesday at 6:30? We can do a 6:30 Zoom from 6:30 to 7:30, all virtual, and we do a power hour and we talk about your home buying initiative. So how
So
does
what?
that sound? How about Tuesday, February the 9th? Does that sound good to you?
Oh, well, I mean, I know my credit score needs quite a bit of work. So, and then on top of that, don't I have to put like money down or something
Yeah,
like that?
absolutely. And that's what that power hour is we're gonna talk about all of that. And I want you to understand the mindset of people who are building wealth every day, buying multifamily units and buying property every day. So we're gonna talk about your credit score. Don't let that be a hindrance to you getting started. Right. So don't kick yourself out of the game already. We want to get you started so we can get you going and you can get in the game just like so many other people out there. So how about Tuesday, February the 9th from 6:30 to 7:30? Would that work for you, Ms. Sonda?
So what does my credit score need to be? Like around what? Like
So you need to have a credit score of a 620, 640. It's just the norm, right? It's nothing big, nothing huge of, astronomical. You just need a credit score of at least a 620 to a 640 to start your journey to wealth building.
And then how much money down? Like how much do I have to kind of put down?
Well, definitely that's on a case by case basis. And then that's why that power hour, we're going to talk about it because I'm going to show you some numbers, some visual numbers where you can kind of look at the numbers and see where you fall, and we kind of talk about it. So are we okay with Tuesday, February the 9th from 6:30 to 9:30? I mean, 7:30?
From 6:30, I think I can make that work.
Okay, awesome. And this is all virtual, Ms. Tonda, so we'll definitely do this virtually. Before we conclude our conversation, I want to make sure that I still have the correct contact information for you. So your number is 504-123-3456, correct?
Correct.
And your email address is tondapeterson123@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, Ms. Tonda, I am so proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. And I promise you that this power hour is going to mastermind you, and you're going to be well on your journey to wealth building in 2021. How does that sound for you?
Sounds great to me.
I'm excited for
talk to
you.
then.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm excited for you. So I will see you. I will send the link shortly. And until then, you take care, and I will be in touch with you soon. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right, critique. I'm no above the rim. I'm no better than anybody else. Y'all are welcome to critique me. Trust me.
I like that. I like that script, and I like the wealth building. I'm seeing more of that, and I think that that's a good way to kind of introduce people who are kind of leery about it, or who maybe have never really thought about the idea of owning a home. You know, are you interested in building some wealth? And then to me, that would kind of pique their interest, and then you going into, what that means. So I like that.
Mhm.
It was good, Kim.
Okay. I need more than that. Critique it. Really, really. I mean, you can slam it if you want to. I'm okay. That's why I'm here. So I'm practicing just like everybody else.
So what would you do in a case where somebody is not computer savvy and they don't have access to Zoom or how to use all that stuff when you make the phone call?
So on that note, that is a very good question, because I'm not very comfortable with, well, we can meet at the office. We can meet at the office and we'll do social distancing. We can go to the office, social distancing, and we can use the, the resource at the office. So that would be my alternative there.
Yeah, kind of give them that option in the conversation.
Right.
Would you prefer to meet in person, or are you okay with, how are you with technology? I can set up a Zoom.
Exactly.
If they prefer the technology but aren't familiar with Zoom, then maybe you kind of give them something that gets them started, where you can kind of walk them through that process, because that's adding value to you as well,
Right.
So
Exactly.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, and again, I have to always tie this back to me, calling my database. At the end of last year, I started calling FSBOs. Now, that was something that was so outside of my comfort zone. But again, I am not originally from Louisiana, and a lot of people, I don't know a lot of people here. So not only do I have to get people to know I'm a realtor, I'm trying to introduce myself to them as well. And so I incorporated calling FSBOs. It took me a while. It took me until November of last year to buy into it, but I was actually able to convert 2 for sale by owners into sellers. So kudos, I'm happy about that. So I would like to go through FSBOs, because I have been seeing, especially in this market, with it being hot, more people are feeling like they can sell their home on their own. They feel like their home will sell itself. Like, why do I need a realtor to help me do that? So is anyone wanting to, let me see, FSBO should be on page 6, I think.
And you're so right, Tonda, while you're looking for it. There are a lot of people that think they can do it,
I'm definitely running into that. So there we go. So this script basically says, are you still accepting offers on your property? Great, I can stop by at 2 today or 11 tomorrow, which works best for you. And that goes back to, you always want to set the appointment. The goal is to set the appointment. So what that does is you may not necessarily have all the answers when you have that initial conversation, but it kind of buys you time. Okay, I know I have until 2 o'clock today to put together a CMA or that kind of stuff. So always remember that you want to set the appointment. We're taught to give them two options, and if that doesn't work, then add an additional or let them give you an option. But you want to try your best to get that appointment, if that makes sense. Okay, so would anybody like to practice calling a for sale by owner? Again, this is just practice, y'all, but nobody's gonna get it perfect. We all have to.
This morning, so I'd like to do that with you, but I want you to make the phone call to me.
You want me to, so you're the for sale by owner?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sue's put me on the spot. She's put me on the spot. Okay, so ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Tonda. I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street.
This is she. Can I help you?
Yes. What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
My name is Sue.
Hi, Sue. I just like to know who it is I'm talking to. Miss Sue, my name is Tonda, like I said earlier, and I am a realtor with Keller Williams. I was driving the other day and I noticed that your property is for sale. You're trying to sell it on your own. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So if I were to have a buyer interested in your home, are you willing to pay the commission for a buyer's agent?
Well, this house belonged to my mother and she passed away. And me and my sister are doing this together.
Mhm.
And she wants to try to do this on our own. And we've already had a couple of agents try to get us to list the house already. But I appreciate the offer. And if I change my mind, I'll get in touch with you.
No, I definitely understand that. And I'm sure that you know that the market is hot right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then, so I have a few buyers that I'm working with, and they may or may not be interested in your home. If I have a buyer interested, would you be willing to pay the commission to me as their agent?
I'd have to talk to my sister about that. We'd have to make a decision about that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So how are you showing the home?
Actually, this is a pretty popular neighborhood right now for people to buy and sell in. So I've just been having people ride by and call from the for sale sign on the front lawn.
Okay. And so are you or your sister living in the home currently?
No, we're not living in the home.
No. Okay. So you kind of have to drop what you're doing to go and show the property. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I understand that. Okay. So I might be able to save you a little effort and time in that. Can I set up an appointment with you to see the property so that I'll know firsthand whether or not it works for a current buyer that I'm working with, or even, prospective buyers that may come later on, or even other agents in my office? Can I stop by this afternoon at 2? Does that work?
2 might be a little early, but maybe we can do it later in the evening.
Okay. What about 5 o'clock?
5:30 would be good.
5:30? Okay. So I know you mentioned your name was Sue. What's your sister's name, Sue?
Her name's Sheila.
Sheila. So Sue and Sheila. What's your last names?
My last name's Terry. Her last name is Ledette.
Ledette. So Sue Terry. Okay, got that. And would you mind giving me your email address? I just want to send you. So what I like to do for my clients or potential clients is give them a market analysis so that you can kind of see what homes in your neighborhood are selling for, and you can use it as you will. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so what's your email address?
It's Sheba, SHEBA, 92166 at yahoo.com.
Okay, so that's Sheba92166 at yahoo.com. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can be looking for that CMA for your mother's property, and I'm very sorry to hear that she passed away. I'll send you that, and then I'll also send you a little information about myself and my company and what we do to get homes sold quickly. And I will see you at 5:30. If you have any other questions for me?
No, that sounds great.
Perfect. All right, I will see you at 5:30, Miss Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Okay,
And
so
you got the appointment.
Good.
always
Thank you. I
try to
needed
get the
that.
appointment.
Experience, because it didn't go quite that way when I talked to her this morning, although she was very pleasant.
Mhm.
And I did get the opportunity to at least text her my business card to keep on file in case they change their mind. But I didn't think about going the route of maybe mentioning I might have a client looking to buy an area or another agent in the office would, and we could send the CMA to her or whatever. I didn't really think about going that route, but that would have been a good idea. So
Just
I'm gonna have to
kind of
use
showing your value. You want to kind of let them see your value. For the for sale by owners that I was able to convert, their first and foremost, their first thing was that they didn't want to pay the commission. They want to try to save, commission.
Right.
So that's
Right.
generally the objection, is that they don't want to pay. They want to try to net as much money as they can. So a comeback would be, well, what if I could get you the money that you wanted and also cover my commission? How does that sound to you?
Mhm.
And then, okay, you've taken that out, so you can't, you're still going to be able to walk away with the amount of money that you want to, and then also pay my commission. And then in addition to that, they don't want to, if they're not living in the property, they don't want to have to take their time to go back and forth to see, to show the house, so you can mention that, I know that can be aggravating, having to go back and forth. Let me handle that for you, you know. So that's another objection that they have. What are some other objections that you all have come across in terms of like for sale by owners? Are there any other ones?
Um,
Go ahead, Kim.
one of the can y'all hear me? Yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
on. Okay, so another objection is, a lot of for sale by owners, they may have been burned or scorned by, I'm gonna just use that harsh word, by another real estate agent, maybe trying to, sell a house previously or another house. And they felt like, the real estate agent did not perform well, and they wind up doing a lot of the work themselves and then have to pay out a 6% commission, whatever that could be, $5,000, $6,000, $12,000 commission for what, when they feel like they can do it themselves, right?
Do you want to go through that, Kim? You want to go through
Yeah,
what that
so
what
we
that
can
sounds
just
like?
take it from there. Yep. So I'm just not really into real estate agents anymore, because the last agent that I worked with, she just didn't do her job. And I really wanted to just cancel the contract, but I went ahead and did it, and wound up paying her a $12,000 commission for what? So that will not happen again. So
Oh no,
I'm
I,
just
I
gonna-
definitely understand that, and I hate that you had to deal, with that. And me being a realtor, unfortunately, I have done deals with, other agents who, to me, have not been very good at their job. However, that's, not me. So what was it that the agent, was there anything that he or she did do that you were okay
Well,
with?
yeah, I'm glad that you asked, because, they had quite a few properties in the neighborhood on the market, and, other properties were selling off the market, and mine just sat on the market just a little bit too long for my comfort. And I just was not satisfied with that.
So how did you
You
find
know,
that other agent? How did you come to hire that other agent?
well, she was referred to me by a friend, and I, trusted the friend, but, I should have just, you know,
I
she just
understand that.
wasn't good for me. So I'm still, from this point on, I'm going to sell the properties myself, because
I can
I pretty
definitely
much sold it.
understand that a bad situation, but I would hope that you wouldn't let that, deter you from, hiring the right agent. So tell me this, what were the things that she didn't do that you would have liked for her to do?
So I'm going to put it back on you. I'm going to ask you, what would you do to sell a property? What would you do?
Okay, so first and foremost, I know a lot of agents just want to put a sign in your yard and they, try to just let the house sell itself. I don't do that. What I do is I sit down with my clients. I go through what it is in their home that they, may need to work on, or may not need to work on. We go through what the value of the home is. We come up with a reasonable, the market dictates the price. So we come up with what the market says the property is worth. And then after that, I hold open houses. I have brokers tours, and that's where other agents, they come in and they see the property. If they have a buyer that is interested in the property, they get to see it first. the open houses, bring in people who, see it via social media. I have a high presence on social media, so I would put your property out there. The MLS, the multiple listing system, puts it in front of agents who are across the state. So it's not just in our local area, people across the state, see it. And through, like I said, social media, that gets it out there nationwide. I have agents that I work with all across the country. So if they have someone that they're working with and they see your property, then we can work on possibly getting it in front of them as well. So
What's your time? What's your timeline? What's your timeline for, all this stuff that you're talking about? What's your timeline? How do you strategically?
I immediately market your product, your property. I come out, we take professional pictures. I market it and I put it in MLS right away. I hold an open house. I generally hold a broker's open house first. That's where the other agents can come and see it, because if they already have a buyer, then that's perfect. If not, then I hold my own open house where the general public can come and see your property. So I've had homes sell, you'll go under contract in as little as 24 hours. Some of them take 30 days. However, my experience has shown me that if the property is marketed correctly and priced right, then it goes really quickly. I would love to kind of go through my whole marketing plan with you. If you're open to that, I can come by your house this afternoon at 3:00, or if tomorrow works better, I have 10:30 available.
Well, I don't, because of this pandemic, I'm not very comfortable with, people coming to my house. So
I understand
that will not work for me. Yeah.
How familiar are you with Zoom? Have you used Zoom before?
Zoom. Yeah, I can.
Okay, so would you be comfortable in doing a Zoom where you kind of walk through your property and show me, the features of it, and I can kind of try to figure out a fair price from there? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I can do that. Yes.
Okay. And then I can also go through my marketing plan with you and just tell you a little bit more about me and what I've done to get homes sold. So are you available this afternoon at 3 for that Zoom, or do you prefer to wait until, tomorrow at 10:30?
I would rather do it tomorrow at 10:30.
Okay. Now let me make sure. I need to get your email address. What's your email address?
It's kimthomas123@gmail.
So kimthomas123@gmail.com. I got it. So shortly after we get off of our call, you'll receive that Zoom link. And then I'll also send you just a little bit about me, just so you'll be a little more familiar with what I've done to get home sold. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. All right, Kim, I will send that email shortly, and I look forward to seeing you on Zoom tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Chrissy, please, because I know I stumbled. I'll let y'all say what it was. What y'all think?
That was good. You did stumble, and I put in the chat box what we've learned in bold when like Kim came across, like, what will you do as an agent? The 3 Ps. You put the sign in the yard, which you said. You put I made a mistake in there, a typo, but you put the listing in the MLS, and then you prospect for those buyers, which is pretty much what you said, but you got a little tongue tied there.
Yeah.
So they always say the 3 Ps. So if you think of the 3 Ps, what it is, put the sign in the yard, put it in the MLS, and then you prospect for the buyers.
I'm glad you said that, because I always remember 3 Ps, but I can never remember what they stand for. So Thank you for that, Kathy. And then another thing that I realized that I should have done, that I've been taught, is don't try to sell yourself over the phone. You know. So when she said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I would love to tell you or show you what it is I'm going to do. Can we either meet in person or do it via Zoom? So I shouldn't have gone in as much detail, because the objective always is to get, in front of them or get the appointment so that you can, do that. So that was
right. I was going to say that, because you were, you got to keep in mind that, a lot of people are ADD, ADHD, the attention, span is very, very minuscule. Like, you got to capture, look at Frank laughing. you gotta capture their attention, or you're gonna lose them, or they're gonna, go south on you, right? One way or the other. And so, you can't go into deep conversation and talk because you're gonna lose them. So, you gotta just get in there, get the appointment, and get it. So because she was losing me.
Right.
I am slightly.
Right. I was losing myself.
She was losing me, and my attention span and my tolerance was starting to just get a little bit, annoyed.
What I like to say too sometimes is, trying to get that appointment, that I like to meet people face to face, so that you can, see that I'm a genuine person and that I'm very energetic and, that kind of thing. So just to kind of get it in there. Can I ask who iPhone is? Who's that right there has the name iPhone? I can't hear.
She's still on mute.
My name is Natasha Jones. I'm a new agent, but I am a dual career, so I'm at work.
Oh, well, hi,
Nice
Natasha.
meeting you.
Thank you for that, and welcome aboard.
Hi. Thank you.
Well, I like to try to be mindful of everybody's time. It is 12 o'clock, so we've been on an
Wait, I got
hour.
a question, Tonda.
I'm sorry. I just want to be respectful of people's time, so I understand if somebody has to jump
It's
off.
my lunchtime too,
get
so
it,
I'm
but-
at work as well.
Okay.
But
All
look,
right.
the question I have is, my biggest fear is when I make the phone call and they bring up the commission. I heard you speak on it, but like from all the anyway, all the people that know about it, I just want to know how. Besides the fact of, I know you, I hear you say, well, when they say they don't want to pay commission, I don't know. Can you
No,
fix
that's
it?
okay.
Can you just tell me what you said?
Let's
Like-
role play that. You want to be the agent, or I'll be the agent, Tonda, or Kathy, or somebody. Let's role play that. Let's roll it
I
out.
can do it.
I have a
I'll
question.
do it with you. Go. Somebody else had a question?
Yes, once y'all done answering her question, because I would like to listen to that too.
Okay. All right. Okay, Kim, I'm ready when you are.
What's the commission on what's your commission? What's your fee for this, Tonda?
6%.
Whoa. So wait, let me get my calculator. So I'm selling my $400,000 house, and I'm paying you $24,000 in commission.
Actually, when you look at it that way, it does sound like a lot, but half of that goes to the buyer's agent. Okay. So that doesn't all go to me, although I wish, so half of that goes to the buyer's agent. 1% of that goes to my brokerage. Another percentage goes to marketing. And so that leaves me really with just 1% left.
So you think, like $24,000 is a lot for a person to sell a house and make that kind of money off of commission? Can you do a 4.5% commission?
Actually, well, we can talk about, commission a little more in detail when we get together. However, right now that is what my brokerage charges.
So pause right there. So if I am the seller for you, Tonda, I just got you. I just clipped you. Okay. I just manipulated your mind to take a 4.5% commission. All I got to do is just continue to work your mind, and you're going to take this 4.5%.
Well, no. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not going down to 4.5%. But the only reason why I said that was because in the other scripts and role plays that I go through, they tell you not to kind of get into the percentage. You sell your value. You make them understand what it is you bring to the table.
Exactly.
So
that's what you would say. You say, yes, I understand that 6%, but I can promise you, Mr. Seller or Miss Buyer, that, for the amount of work that I'm going to put into selling your home, it's going to be worth every penny. And, my promise to you is that you will get the ultimate due diligence in me selling your property. So I would definitely like to have that meeting time with you to sit down and talk with you about what do I do to get property sold. So let's talk about that. How about, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Would that work for you?
And then that is part of the conversation up front too. Like you let them know, I'm working to get you what you want to walk away with, in addition to my 6% commission.
Mhm.
You know, so
And how do you convince that one? That's why I'm at with it, because I always hear y'all say that. Y'all always say, well, I can get you how much do you want? And then
you don't
you
promise
proceed
them
to
anything.
figure
You can't promise them anything because the market dictates what it is that they want to is going to go for. So they can have that idea in your mind, but in their mind, but you always tell them basically, I can't promise you that we'll get that, but I will work as hard as I can to get you what it is you would like to walk away with. So you don't make that promise, and if they're selling their home for $450,000, that they're going to walk away with 400,000. You don't know that, So you just make sure they understand upfront that you're going to work as hard as you can to get them what it is they want to walk away with, and also cover the commission, if that makes sense.
So too, if I can just add that to it, Tonda, I don't want to, overpower the conversation at all. But, when you are meeting with the seller, right, you always need to have a market analysis, right? You can't go in there empty handed and just winging it. You have to have concrete evidence of what you're talking about, right? So if a seller is trying to sell a house, that the market analysis, because the market analysis does not lie, right? The market analysis dictates the conversation. If a seller is trying to sell a house that technically is only worth at most $500,000, but they're trying to sell it at $675,000, that makes no sense. Mr. Seller, this is what the analysis is dictating. Your property is worth at most for this area within a 1 to 2 mile radius. The majority of houses at most have sold for $575,000. Do you see what I'm talking about? He says, yes. Okay. So Mr. Seller, and once they say, so you say, Mr. Seller, what do you think about these numbers? And then you pause, right? Don't overtalk the conversation. Don't, just don't overtalk the conversation. Pause and let him or her say what they need to say. They're going to say, well, yeah, I see it's 575. Okay. So
help them see a more realistic picture.
Yes.
Because I had that issue. You're mute, Sue. I had that issue one time where a guy came to me wanting to sell his house for like almost double what the market said it was going to go for. And I tried to explain it to him. He was unreasonable in that. So what I did was, some people will take the listing and tell them, okay, so if it doesn't sell within 3 months, would you at that point be willing to reduce your price? Listen to what it is they have to say. Or some people, as in his case, I had to walk away from him, because I'm not willing to do all that work for a price that I know is not going to sell. But what I did do was I keep following up with him. I just wanted to call it and check to see how the property, how it's going with you trying to sell your property, and if after a while he sees that what I said, the price should be, maybe at that point he'll be ready to sit down and sign, and get it listed for the price that the market is saying it should be listed for, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, Sue. You had a question?
I was going to say, so if you get a situation like that where they think the house is worth more than the CMA is showing, and you get them to come down to where you think it should be, then you can't really say to them, well, I'm going to try to get you because of course, too, they don't want to pay commission either. So, but you can't really say in that instance that you're going to get them what they want and be able to cover your commission because they wanted too much in the first place.
Yeah,
Right.
But it goes back to the conversation where the market dictates the price. Like it's not you.
Right.
You're going to do your best to get them the market value of that home. And that's all that you can do.
And sometimes you just have to, you want the listing, a $400,000 listing, but realistically, if they don't see that the property is only worth what the market analysis is dictating, what's the point in putting it on the market? You want the listing, but are you going to sell that listing?
And that's a red flag right there. That's a headache, because you already are dealing with somebody who's unrealistic. And so if they're unrealistic at the beginning, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be unrealistic throughout that entire process. So do you want to deal with that? So sometimes it's better to walk away as bad as you, as much as you want that listing. Your sanity is more important. You can work with clients who, you know, are reasonable and you get their properties listed and sold, or help somebody, you know, actually find a property.
Because they will hold you to the fire, and they will harp you, right?
Mhm.
And if you don't get that property sold, you know, your name and your reputation is a lot in this business, okay? And so don't put yourself in that position to have somebody thrash, you know, your name and your reputation. It's not worth it. Okay. They got a plethora of other listings and properties out there that you could sell all day long. Don't harp on that one.
Okay.
That's all I have to
Did she
say.
say her name was Natasha? Is it Natasha? Wait. Is it Natasha?
Yes, Natasha,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay. I'm trying to sneak this in. Okay, my biggest thing is you have buyers calling you. Buyers want to buy. Buyers on saying they're ready. They want to purchase house. What do I do? I'm trying to get away. I don't want to go into people finances and personal business, because you also have people that don't want to share it with you from the first initial contact. So how do I start that conversation without touching that part?
But that's a misconception for a lot of people, because you have some family members who don't want to work with you because they feel like they don't want you to
Right.
know their business. But you, as
Right.
a realtor, you don't have to know that. You
Exactly.
put them in touch with a lender, and that's what you tell them. Well, you know, I don't have to know your finances in and out. That's not my lane. My job is to help you, you know, find a home and get you into that home. The lender will go through those items with you. And the only thing the lender does is they tell me, okay, Tonda, or okay, Natasha, Mary is ready. She's pre-approved for $250,000. Then we can go and look for homes that fit your price range. That's the only thing that they share with me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So now a
basically,
lot of people, that's
they
their first thing. Family members are
yeah,
like, I don't want them in my business. I don't
exactly.
have to know your business.
Yeah, first thing I'm doing is just sending them to the lender.
Mm-hmm. And that's what
Okay.
you can kind of lead with too, especially if you're approaching family, you know, beat them to the punch. I know you think that I have to know your business, and you may be leery because you don't want me to know, you know, how much you're making or that kind of thing. I don't have to know that. That's
Uh-huh.
between you and the lender. That's not my business. My job is to find you a house. The lender's just going to tell me, hey, yes, they're pre-approved for X amount, or
Uh-huh.
they have a few things they need to work on. I'll let you know when they're in a position, you know, to buy.
Gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha.
Kim, is that correct?
what about if the script is flipped and it's not a buyer and it's a seller? I mean, you kind of got to get into the finances as far as like how much is, you know, how much are they owe on the house? How much money are they put into the house? You know, where they are financially, you know, their motivation to sell a house. So, I mean, in that aspect, it kind of changes your whole, I guess, the way you approach it then, because then you come into it from
Mhm.
the seller instead of the buyer.
But it's been, and I haven't had very many, and I'm going to lean on Kim for this, but it's been in my experience that generally sellers don't mind sharing like that limited information, you know, with you, because they want to sell the house, you know, so they're usually a little more open in sharing that with you. But I don't know, Kim, can you assist?
So I kind of got lost a little bit in the conversation. So just give me a snippet, recap to me what the
All
conversation was
right.
about.
For instance, my first seller's appointment I went on.
Hi,
When I
Frank.
got there, I had my CMA, I had everything, and it was a nightmare one. They wanted $60,000 more than what the market was going to bear for the house. So I knew it was ridiculous when I walked in there and they told me that what they wanted for the house. I had already had my mind set on a certain price, and it blew me completely out the water. I did show them all my CMAs and went through all of that stuff. So I think they already had a bad taste in their mouth when they thought that they weren't going to get what they were wanting for the house at that point. So then I began to ask them, well, you know, how much money do you owe on this house? And you said you did some renovations. How much money do you have in renovations cost right now? Is there some wiggle room? And the lady got really defensive. And she's like, I don't feel like I need to answer that. Why do you need to know
Okay.
that?
All right. Pause right there. I got it now. Okay. So let's role play that conversation there.
Okay.
So Miss Sue, no, so Tonda, what I can do, I'll strike a deal with it. I will put this house on the market for, what was the number, Miss Sue? What did they want?
They wanted 450 and the CMA was saying 380s.
Okay. So I will go ahead and let's work on a compromise. I will go ahead and put this property on the market for 450,000 for you. Now, you have to agree that if this house does not sell or does not go under contract within 30 days, then you're going to agree to reduce the property to the price that the market analysis is dictating.
Well,
How about that?
I did say that to him, but I basically said reduce the property by 5%, which would have brought the house to 425, and they were like, absolutely not. So I knew I wasn't getting into the 380s.
Okay.
I couldn't even get him to go to 425 after that period.
Okay.
And at that point, to me, you have to decide whether or not if they're unreasonable, because Kim presenting that is, reasonable, and if they're so confident, then they should be willing to do that. If they think that the property is hot, they can get that price, then they shouldn't have a problem, because they're believing that within those 30 days it's going to sell. But on the flip side, if they're not willing to do that, you have to decide whether or not you want to deal with this person who is showing you clearly that they're difficult.
Right. Right. And that was their second time being on the market. They were on the market and pulled it off and did some renovations. Mm-hmm. And they were asking $399 before that, and the market was showing 380s. Mm-hmm. And they pulled the house off the market and renovated 2 rooms, and then they wanted 450.
Well, they're like one flew over the cuckoo's nest, right? And to be honest with you, you got bigger fish to fry and a whole lot of other properties that you just don't need to deal with those psychotic folks, really.
But I will say too, put them on a drip campaign still. You still follow up with them, because they at some point are going to have to come to their senses if they have to sell. Yeah. Then you staying in contact will.
They listed with another agent. So now at this point, it wouldn't be ethical for me to be contacting them unless they're under contract with somebody, right?
Good luck to that other agent.
It's expire at this point.
Right. No, good luck to that other agent, because
really, to be honest with you, that other agent just took the listing because they just want the exposure. They're not trying to, they know their house is not going to sell. No. They just did that just to brand themselves in that area. That's all they're doing. Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And that's exactly what she said. She's like, the first agent we had was terrible. And I said, well, why was the agent so terrible? He didn't do any open houses. He didn't market my property, this and that and the other. So I showed her the MLS and I said, ma'am, are you aware that every agent in this whole metropolitan area can see this house? I said, even if a real estate agent didn't market the property, somebody could have brought you a buyer. Mm-hmm. I said, why do you think the house wasn't sold? I was trying to get her to say, because the house was overpriced, but of course she never would do that. But I mean, she had lots of bad things to say about the agent who had listed before, but that agent wasn't going to spend their money. And that's what I told her. I said, there's a lot of money and time involved in marketing a piece of real estate. If it looks like the property is not in the comparable price range, that's probably why an agent wouldn't market your property. Like trying to make her understand that, but there was nothing I could do to make this lady understand that.
No,
she was just difficult.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all can get back to the script that we were talking about, because I got y'all off track. So how would y'all approach the defensive part of not wanting to give you the financial information?
So, Tonda, I clearly understand that, you feel like this information is private and that you're not willing to share. But in order for me to do my part in making sure that you get the most bang for the bucks, I need to know your numbers. I need to know, how much you owe on the property, so that, as this property is progressing and perhaps goes under contract, you need to know in your mind just basically how much you're going to walk away with, estimating how much you're going to walk away with at the end of the day. I know you don't want to feel like, just blindly going into this, and then at the closing, you might be 20% shy of what you thought you were going to get. So I need to know that that you're very comfortable with the numbers before we even get started. How does that sound to you, Ms. Tonda?
That makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. Perfect sense.
I would agree.
And then that puts it back on them, you know, and it lets them know that it's not about you knowing their numbers. It's about them having a clear understanding as to, okay, if this person offers this amount of money, then this is what you're going to walk away with, you know. So it's better to have those tough conversations up front.
Yes,
and get them
absolutely.
over and done with, as opposed to, you know, on the back end. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Tough conversations. You got to have them on the front end. And, you know, don't, like I said, I'm going to just reiterate this and then I got to make my run. But don't overtalk the conversation, right? For some of us, you know, we like to talk a lot. We talk. Just say what you have to say and cut it. Right?
Get in and get out.
Get in and get out.
All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate this. Does anybody else have any other questions? I want to make sure I answer questions because I want to be mindful of people's time. Okay, no questions? All right. Well, thank you all for.
Good job, Tonda.
Wait, I got one more question.
You
I got one more question. I'm not going to ask nothing else. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, this is my weakness, this kid stuff, but I'm getting it. So look, my next question is, it's the same thing. Once again, another role play, but this time it's for a lease of a property. So when you see like people calling it like, oh, I saw this on Redfin, but when you look at it on Redfin, it's not on the MLS. So and you calling that other agent and asking them, are they willing to pay you a commission if you bring them a somebody to lease their property? How do you go about that?
Well, if they're not willing to do that, then I just tell my client, well, hey, this person is, you know, listing
I'm
this.
saying, how do you go about asking them? Like, I don't know. Like so the property on, like, you have a property on Redfin. You just see it or whatever is listed. And then when you call them, hey, my name is Ann. I saw your property on Redfin. I have a client that is, I have someone that's interested in your property, but are you willing to pay a commission of such and such if I bring you a client or something like that? If I bring you somebody to lease your property, how does that go?
You just did it.
Yeah, you just did it.
You just did it.
Yeah.
That's the conversation.
Oh.
It's essentially the same as if you're calling a for sale by owner, except you're calling somebody who's trying to lease their property on their own.
So if I'm the landlord of that property and you ask me that question, and Arthur, just ask me, are you willing to pay out a
Are you willing to pay out a commission if I can bring you someone to lease your property?
How much is the commission, hon?
Well, that's the question I'm asking you guys because I don't know.
Okay.
What am I supposed to say when they say that?
No, I'm not paying.
No. Well, no, I'm
generally,
you guys, what am I supposed to say when they say that?
So generally, the commission, like for me, when I've listed lease properties, you can get anywhere from 100% of 1 month's lease. Usually the bottom line is 60%. Right. So if you are comfortable in asking, since there's only one side for 50% of 1 month's lease, you ask for that. If you only want to ask for 30% of 1 month's lease, that's acceptable too. I wouldn't accept anything less than at least 30% because that's what you would get if it were, another agent on the other side. So
that's what I was
if
thinking.
you
like,
go
what is
in,
the percentage on the extra?
Yeah, if you go in with the 50% and they give you a kind of pushback, at least in the back of your mind, what I could do if that's a little too much for you is I could do 40%. So don't to me don't offer that up front. Try to get what you can get, maximum. But then too, some people like to feel like they're negotiating. So in the back of your mind, you're willing to accept 30%. But they don't necessarily have to know that. For all they know, they've talked you down on your commission.
Right. Okay. That was my only question. All right, y'all. Y'all have a nice day. Let me turn my camera on.
All right. All right.
I know I asked a lot of questions.
That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. I want to invite y'all. If you're interested, you can shoot me a text. I get on a script practice every morning with a market center out of Cary, North Carolina. We start at like 7:25 in the morning to 8. And what they do is they come together, they come up with a topic, they role play it in front of everybody. Then we break out into smaller rooms, where you can practice one-on-one. It's no pressure. You don't even have to participate in it if you don't want to, but it's I'm trying to practice as much as I can. So if you're interested, shoot me a text or email, and I'll be happy to share that Zoom link with anybody.
Interested, but I don't have your text information or your email. So
Oh, okay.
Thank
So
you all.
my phone number, you're welcome, is 504
You said you should for rice nasty or good.
882
You gonna say your price with me?
7933.
882-7933.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if you
Thank
text me,
you.
I'm happy to send you that Zoom link or even
Why you left
practice.
before I gave you that
Practice,
message?
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
great.
y'all
Thank
so
you.
much.
Guys, I'm
Y'all
gonna
have a great day.
disconnect, okay?
Thanks, Kim.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. You guys have a great
Bye.
day.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.